Within it can be found a...
Pony!
Hi, I'm Matt Blades and I'm the creator of It's Pony. Today I'm going to walk you through how to draw Pony himself.
You excited?
So excited.
He's got a round body, stick head that comes out the top, stick neck, and then another shape sort of sitting on the top of that. So his that shape sits up here, and just so we know where his neck is. So his neck there that comes out the top of his body is actually just off to one side. So normally if you were side on with Pony, it's just at the front, only a little bit. He's obviously got a round body, which is a bit unusual. So it's just to give an idea that there's a front and a back to him. And then down here he's got his long dangly legs that stick out the bottom here, with his big hooves out the bottom.
Ninja. Normal. Ninja. Normal.
And then a tail that's just above the middle as well, kind of sticking out from about here. Again, I don't know, I like to start rough and then get cleaner as I go through it. He's got these ears that stick out and they're pretty solid, right? They look like this, that sort of teardrop thing, and they're pretty much always in that position. If you're looking at him head on, they're still kind of in that position.
You're going to be a gaming superstar.
Superstar.
So his eyes are about here. And another thing to note about Pony's head is, let me just do his sort of muzzly line here, is he's got his nostrils down here. And then there's one big nostril, and then a smaller one because it's slightly further away. But with most animals, or most drawings, if you were doing his head, what you should do is, if his nostrils were like that, with the perspective like that, then what you should is have a similar thing for his eyes. That's what he should be. But we like to keep Pony looking a little bit more unusual, and I think just making everything doesn't quite match up. It just means he has this slightly more unusual, funny, kind of quirky side to him.
Hey, Pony hasn't tried yet.
And it just makes him look a bit more goofy if the things, bits aren't quite lining up like they should line up. Because, he's not a perfect pony. So his neck, he's got a sort of thicker neck like that, and his smile, we have this sort of bulge, and that bulge does help us show if he's smiling or not. And then his open mouth comes down the neck. He's got a tongue, and then the inside of the mouth that we try not to go too far over the neck with, it sort of follows the neck. And then he has a lip that comes down here, joins the neck, and there is Pony's head. And then as you go round his body, there tends to be, he's got these little dashes that break up the body as we go round. So he's got these little dashes just to show that he's, he's hairy, he's a bit rough, and it gives him a bit of charm, right? That he's not quite as clean as he could be, and even the lines aren't quite as clean as they could be. We want him to feel like he's a bit cuddly. So we also have these little dashes throughout his body as well. There's like a 2 and a 1 and a 2, and they're kind of random. He's got a couple on his face as well. Again, just giving him that idea that he's a bit scruffy, not your ideal pony. And then he's got his legs dangling out the bottom. He's definitely not your normal kind of pony. So it's pretty much just one leg that you can actually see is attached to the body. And then the other ones are all further back behind the body. And then we sort of put a shadow over them as well, just to sort of show that they're nearer the back. And then he's got these sort of toilet plunger hooves that are stuck to the bottom of the dangly legs. And these toilet plunger hooves we can kind of use however we want. So sometimes they'll be just stuck out the bottom, perfectly at the end of his legs. Sometimes if we need him to point, then we'll sort of swivel them round a bit, maybe make one end a bit more pointed, and then that way we can sort of cheat that he's pointing at stuff. And then we can try and manipulate them a bit more as well. We sort of try and do what we can to give him some kind of, a bit like their hands with mittens on. And he's also got this untidy mane that's sort of made up of random bits, 2 and a 1 of hairs as they go out. And that's kind of your pony. That's all he is. There's not a lot to him when you think about, in a way that's quite nice, because he's simple, and we kind of, not just the body, but all round.
We're still trying to find my thing.
Yeah, it's hard to pin down.
So now I will go over and I will just do a sort of tidier version, just with a cleaner black line. So starting with his eyes. So just as we did with the other ones, we do like to have the thins on top and thicks at the bottom, because the thicks at the bottom, they just help to make Pony look a bit more, just a bit more sort of hand, that hand-drawn look. It makes him feel a bit cozier. There's something about it that makes you, the feeling of hand-drawn is, well, for me anyway, it's just more appealing. Then going around his body, again leaving these little dashes as we go round, just to make him feel a bit more like he's not quite perfect and he's got rough hair all over him. There we go, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And we sort of leave a bit of space at the top for his head to move around, so we don't put the dashes all over, they're mostly down towards the bottom here. Then he's got his legs, his long dangly legs with his hooves out the bottom. Then another one here. Bit of shadow. See, it's just that front one that really is that you can see is attached to the body. There's a couple of dashes on his hooves as well, actually. Then let's do his tail, but I mean he's pretty much there. So again we're doing a few more at the bottom, make it look a bit darker, and then at the top less of them, and it just looks like there's a shadow on the bottom if you do it that way. And that's kind of all there is to Pony. He's not a particularly complicated shape. He's not a particularly complicated person or animal. Couple on his ears, I think. And that's it. That's our pony.
I never said.
I ponied it up a little.